What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. This is episode 6 of the Dad Bod Transformation. Today's car talk on the way to the gym. We're going to be talking a little bit about alcohol and nicotine and how it can completely fuck up your gains and your life if you let it. And just, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're not going to talk about the obvious health concerns with alcohol and nicotine. There's obvious health things that we all know about. I'm going to kind of mix it up and talk about something that doesn't really get talked about when it comes to alcohol, when it comes to nicotine, or really any kind of stimulant that forms a habit or some sort of addiction to it. So stick around. And if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for watching. Little tiny bit about me. My name is Joe. I am a former amateur bodybuilder and powerlifter, very passionate and very into powerlifting and bodybuilding and the whole fitness space all throughout my early 20s. And then life happened. I started having kids. I have 4 kids. I'm married. I'll be 32 this year. And it's basically been about between 8 and 10 years since I've truly taken my fitness seriously. I basically recently quit my corporate career sales job, gave up the 6-figure income, gave up the life in slavery at the office to specifically pursue health, wellness, love, and happiness with my family. Now I'm just documenting that journey. So thank you for coming along, and I hope you follow along. So let's begin. So if you're anything like me, maybe you drink on the weekends, right? You love to drink, you like to party, you like to hang out with the familia, you love to grill, right? Whatever it is, like most dads. And when you do those things, you're listening to some good music, you like to pop open a couple of cold burrs. Here's the only problem. Maybe you're also like me, where I'm like Lay's potato chips and I can't just have one. I gotta do the whole thing. I gotta drink the whole case of beer. Typically, I'd get like a 12-pack and I'd polish that off in one night. And then, things start feeling a little frisky after those 12. And then you end up somehow, one way or another, getting maybe 2 more, right? That has basically been my life for the past, 7, 8, 9 years. It kind of led me down this sort of death spiral of just lack of motivation, obviously poor health, huge beer gut. I gave up all my passions because not just from the alcohol, but just life and career and family and just all of these other responsibilities, and every bit of free time that I had, any me time that I had, instead of going to the gym like I used to, I would do that. And it was a great vice for a long time. I'm not going to lie. I've had a lot of really great fun doing it. But at the end of the day, it always resorted back to just regret, feeling like shit, just feeling awful. And we're not talking about the hangovers. We're talking about beyond the hangover. You just feel like crap. Anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about what is actually going on. If you're like me and you've been thinking about going through a transformation and you've been telling yourself for years upon years, next month, next year, the new year, new me, whatever, and you've just been wanting to stop. Well, here's the deal. One thing that I have learned about myself, and really just about people in general, people typically don't change until they're forced to, especially adults. Old dogs, new tricks, typically doesn't happen. You'll notice that most people won't actually make a change within themselves until their back is up against a wall, until they have to, until their doctor sits there and says, hey, you keep this up, buddy, you're going to have a heart attack, or something like that. Most people have to hit rock bottom line, before they decide that they're going to make a significant change in their life and give up alcohol and nicotine. That's kind of what I've learned. But what I've also learned is that there is another form where people do decide that they can change. And that is by sheer will, determination, and a clear conscious choice. I wish I was that person. I sort of hit a rock bottom, more of mentally and emotionally. That's why I gave up my career, gave up everything. And it wasn't because of alcohol. It was many other things. But bottom line is I knew that alcohol wasn't serving me. I'm not talking about being a daily alcoholic, okay? I am not talking about that. I'm talking about once a week, maybe twice a week, right? Either way, when you're drinking 10, 12 beers at a time on the weekends, which I know a lot of people do, you might as well, you know, you might as well consider yourself a little bit of a problem, right? When you're doing that consistently every week, you will develop a dependency on alcohol. Once you develop that dependency on alcohol, it does some amazing things to the brain and to the body. And by amazing, I don't mean that in a good way. It does some astonishing things. First of all, it stimulates dopamine inside the brain. Now, we already know what the other adverse health effects of too much drinking, right? Cirrhosis of the liver, kills your liver and your kidneys and all. We already know that. And then, of course, the extra calories, right, just gives you this gut inflammation in your body. You're swollen, all kinds of different things. We kind of already know that stuff. That's the obvious. I want to talk about what it's doing to you neurologically, which it's the unseen killer. It is the silent killer that you don't really see from the outside. What this does to me, in my opinion, is the most detrimental. And this goes hand in hand with nicotine because nicotine does the same thing. So I'll just wrap both in one. But bottom line, alcohol and nicotine, what they do, whenever you consume them and ingest them, it stimulates this surge of dopamine inside the body. And if you've been living under a rock and don't know what dopamine is the reward chemical inside of your brain that fires off whenever you have a good sensation or something rewarding happens or something of pleasure, or even when you learn something, dopamine is triggered. Dopamine is a extremely powerful neurochemical that your body naturally creates. What happens if your body naturally creates something in the body, but you are artificially giving it extra? I'll tell you what happens. Your body stops to regulate it on its own anymore. It stops producing and regulating it in healthy ways because you are surging your body artificially with hits of nicotine, which are stimulating the dopamine, and smashing it with alcohol, which is then also overloading the dopamine sensors, receptors, and nervous system inside of your brain. Okay, fine. Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it is when you come off the high, when you come down from the drunkenness or from the nicotine buzz or whatever, your body now depends on those vices to continue to feel normal. So what you'll notice is a lot of the times, unless you have a true alcohol problem, a lot of the times nicotine is actually the culprit that'll be more difficult to quit than alcohol. Alcohol, typically you have to do it like sort of in a place where you're going to be there for a while, you're not going anywhere, right? You typically almost plan out, especially if it's a weekend, when you're going to drink. Nicotine, not so much. You could do that anytime, anywhere, especially if you're vaping. You could do that anytime, anywhere, indoors or outdoors. So that's what makes it a little bit more addicting and harder to quit once you decide you're going to quit, because it's so readily available. Bottom line is, the more you put of that in your system, the less your body has the ability to regulate its dopamine on its own. When you come to the point of where you're stopping, or you just don't have it around, maybe you don't have, you lost your cigarettes, you lost your vape, you lost your whatever, and you don't have it, a massive amount of withdrawal symptoms start to surge inside of your brain. And what begins to happen is you become emotional, you become irritable, your hormones are all over the place, you can get overly emotional, depression, anxiety, this feeling of heaviness all over your body, headaches, migraines. I mean, we're talking about physical pain because your body and your nervous system doesn't know what the fuck to do without you constantly hitting a fucking vape or drinking alcohol. That was me 30 days ago. So you have to be aware of what's going to happen, these side effects. The side effects, the withdrawal symptoms, and again, you don't have to be a raging daily alcoholic to feel these things, or a raging vapor, or smoker to feel some of these side effects. Depending on your level of dependency, depending on how much you used to do these things, will determine the severity of those side effects. Anyway, bottom line is you're going to feel something. And it's important to know, depending on how long you've been doing it or how much you've been doing it, that'll be the severity of it. And it's important to know that you're going to encounter those things. For many, many years, I was actually afraid to quit doing those things. Even though I knew it was bad for our health, I was afraid to quit doing those things because I was fearful of the withdrawal side effects. I figured my life is already stressful and filled with angst enough as it is. I don't want to also feel like shit on top of it. The true problem was, though, I already felt like crap because I was putting that stuff in my body in the first place. But it's very difficult to rationalize and make a logical decision like, yeah, but this is only hurting you and you'll only feel like shit temporarily. It will go away. And once you do make it out of that sort of withdrawal phase, you'll be feeling better than you ever have before. Combine that with stress and triggers and environment and circumstances and friends and influences and all kinds of other stuff, it makes just putting that stuff down hard to begin with. The point being, last week I was going through it. I was going through all of those feelings of withdrawal from the nicotine and the alcohol and stuff like that. The alcohol wasn't so bad. It was more the nicotine that was killing me. And the migraines, the cravings, the headaches, the mood swings, irritability, brain fog like crazy. I couldn't put and articulate an intelligent sentence together. I mean, it was rough. One of the things that I absolutely knew that my nervous system needed was rest. Whenever you're going through like massive changes like that, neurochemically, biologically, one of the best things that you could do is sleep. Whenever you shut down the body, it allows the brain and your neurons and your nervous system to recover, because your nervous system recovers, and so does your body. It recovers in its sleep, not while you're awake moving around. When you're going through big changes like this, it's important to listen to your body, and take care of yourself. Your well-being, whether you're addicted to something or not, it doesn't matter. And by the way, guys, this channel is not about addiction. This is not about recovery. I'm so glad if you're here for that. That's amazing. But all in all, this channel is about fitness, bad bod redemption, coming back from the slums. Part of that is getting over things that we might be addicted to. When you decide to go through that transformation, there are things that you're going to have to cut out of your life. And those were things that I knew that I had to cut out of my life. Over a couple of weeks, it finally started getting to me. It finally started messing with me. And my body finally was like, where is our vice? Where's our substance? And it was sort of a little hill, a little hump that I had to get over. And I'm over it. I feel a lot better. So anyway, today we're going to be hitting the gym. And we're going to make a great workout out of it. But I just want to say that if you're going through something similar, and it doesn't have to be alcohol or nicotine. Hell, it could be sugar. It could be some other, just whatever it is, some other vice that you really, think that you love to do, but it's probably not good for you. Whatever it is, something that you probably need to let go. I'm telling you, the feeling of letting it go is like a burden being lifted off of your shoulders. And if you're trying to go through a transformation, it's going to be something that you're going to have to include on top of healthy diet, fitness routine, and a gym routine, and all those things. You can't just diet, exercise, and keep doing those things and expect to get really good results. One night of drinking can ruin 2 weeks worth of progress. But it's not just about the way you look. Like I said, it's about your brain. Because once you move past that withdrawal symptoms and your nervous system and your brain and everything starts to rebuild itself, you're going to literally find a stronger, better version of yourself than you ever have before. And I honestly feel like once you get out of that little sobriety, once you get out of that little like withdrawal stage, that's when you can truly start focusing on like your health and wellness. That's all I have to say about that. Let's just hit the gym today and do a great workout. And if you made it this far to the vlog, please like and subscribe. I'm new to the whole vlogging space, so I hope you like it, and I hope you follow along for the journey. More tips, motivation, maybe even a little bit of comedy along the way. Who knows? We'll see as I get more comfortable with the camera. Um, yeah, and just follow along this transformation. This is episode 6, so thank you for watching. Let's hit the gym. Okay. Doing a little um, push pull today. Finished up with some warm up sets with chest, little arms, little shoulders, just to kind of get everything activated. We're going to start with this overhead lat pull, get the back moving. Most of the pressing machines are taken, so we're starting with back. Normally I'd start with a compound movement, but anyway, whatever. Let's get the back going. Oh, wow. I think I completely underestimate sometimes. Okay. Oh, yeah, that feels good. Nice big stretch. Let's go a little heavier. Let's go 140. No, man, go ahead. You're good, brother. Okay. 3 more of those and we'll switch. Well, it has been a fucking living hell trying to record. Today is just, I mean, I don't know. I thought like Monday through Friday most people worked, you know. I work night shift on the weekends, so I'm off during the week. So this makes sense. Like, what the fuck does everybody else do? I mean, this is just insane. Anyway, I'm finishing out the workout. I'm sorry I wasn't able to record. There's just so many fucking people here. Anyway, all right. We'll finish out. It's burnout. Set. We did some pushing movements. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. Go to the fucking gym. Go a little heavier. Let's go. A little heavier. Oh yeah. Oh God. Oh. Yeah, it's been crazy trying to film here. It's so busy. But we're getting it in. So we did some push-pull movements. Been trying to get on the bench press forever. You got fucking people. I mean, Planet Fitness is just kind of sucks. There's only 3 bench presses, Smith machines. So everything else has to be dumbbells or pressing machine anyway. It's not that big of a deal, but I really wanted to get the bench press. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I did some back, did a little bit of shoulders, did some flies, the bench, the pressing machine as well, cable flies. We're over here doing low row pulls, so we'll finish out some of those. Did the overhead lat pulls. You saw those, overhead lat pull, and finish out with these, and then I'm gonna do a shoulder burnout really quick, a little feeder workout, just to kind of get the week started. So let's finish up with these. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so it's pretty windy out here. I hope that doesn't mess up the microphone, but completed the workout. It was a good workout, but I didn't record even half of it just because it's fucking packed in there today. It was absolutely fucking crazy. People getting in the way of the tripod and just, I don't know, all that bullshit. So we're doing sort of an outside pump check. Feeling pretty good. Solid workout. It was a little bit of a push-pull, just something to kind of, shock the body. It wasn't an emphasis on either body part. Just something to kind of get me back into the groove of things since it's been, a few days since I've been in the gym. And I'm also going to pick a different time to go to the gym because going in the middle of the day, apparently fucking no one works during the week anymore. So I don't know. I don't live in LA, okay? Where everybody's an influencer and they carry their cameras around and whatever. And I know I shouldn't give a fuck about what people think. But bottom line is it's just, I don't know. I'd feel much more comfortable maybe going a little later at night. That way I just have the ability to talk to you guys on a one-on-one level. And just not have to rush, not have to, excuse me. Oh yeah, sorry, let me get that camera and tripod out of the way. Anyway, solid workout though, I can't complain. Overall, today's message, guys, is if you have any kind of addiction and you're trying to get over it, do everything you can to quit because it's stopping you from being the best version of yourself and getting those gains. And the next thing is listen to your body. Your well-being is most important. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You should train every day, 7 days a week, go hard or go home. Just because you're tired, still show up, still go to the gym. You know what? Bullshit. That's not always true. If your body is telling you you are fucking exhausted, listen to it. Get some rest. Go to sleep. Make sure that you're on your nervous system and your mind is firing on all cylinders so that when you do go into the gym, it's actually effective and it's worth it. If you go in there and you push it and you don't listen to your body and you start going way too hard, way too fast, and you're not rested, that's how you hurt yourself. And that's also how you begin to start to resent going to the gym. That's how you start resenting exercise. Now, on the same token, you need to understand when your body is telling you that you're fucking exhausted and you need rest, and the difference between being tired and lethargic because you're not moving. There is a massive difference between the two, because you could become tired and lethargic by not doing anything. So those are two very big different things there. Being lazy and being exhausted are two different things. Be mindful, be aware, and understand the differences. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. That's it for me today. I'm gonna go get with the family. My daughter's got a recital today, an end of school pajama party recital thing at school. So I'm gonna go pick her up from school. We're gonna go to that. Wife has to work tonight, so it's daddy duty today and tonight and tomorrow night. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, once again, like, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you're on this journey with me, listen to your body, get some rest. And as always, go hard or go home. Much love. God bless. Till next time.